to read. It's based largely on legal precedent. But my question to you is, there has been no precedent in this country for the plaintiff, Donald Trump, who continues to wage war against the Constitution, against the rule of law, against one political party in particular, the Democrats, and anything they want to do. What is the larger impact, the political impact of this within the White House and within the members of the Democratic Party who you speak to in both the House and the Senate?
Well, first of all, I think that we may not have seen the last of these subpoenas. And while we have correctly noted that most in the Trump orbit have received them, there are a few notable exceptions, including those with the last name Trump. Not just the former president, but also Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, who worked in the White House, Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., who were there on January 6th at the president's rally at the Ellipse in the moments before the election. I was speaking to someone just the other day who suggested that will be a real pressure point if those members of the former president's immediate family receive subpoenas to see what happens next and what his reaction might be. But certainly, Mike, there are Democrats looking into this feel like there is a larger obligation even than just the matter of these legal proceedings, because they fear not only do they need to figure out what happened on January 6th and get to the bottom of it in the most exhaustive fashion as they can, but do what they can, as we hear from Chairman Thompson a lot, to prevent this from happening again. And I think that's the larger takeaway here, with Trump looming large over all the proceedings, making it clear that he is going to be a visible force both in 22 and 24, and very well likely a candidate again in 2024, that he has shattered the discourse so much and the civility, the norms around politics. There's a real threat of violence. And Democrats that I've spoken to say that's what they're worried about. They head into the midterms next year, and certainly the presidential, just the venom that's out there in this country right now. I traveled with President Biden to Michigan a few weeks ago and were greeted with huge crowds, opposing crowds. That's not that new. But the level of anger, of vitriol, of coarse language, of the slogan that I'm not going to say here on air, that's become code for a swearer against Joe Biden, being everywhere. There's such anger, and the pandemic seems to have only further driven us apart, and that colors all of this. And we're bracing ourselves, the Democrats I've spoken to, and we as citizens should be bracing ourselves for a very ugly couple of years ahead.